and information. That's PowwayRodeo.com. See you at the Powway Rodeo September 23rd and 24th. Brought to you by Ram Trucks and Petter Ram Chrysler Dodge and Jeep, and powered by Monster Energy.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Summertime! Now that I've got your attention, let me tell you all about us. Whoa, tough crowd. Anybody out there? Hello?
Fighting to be heard in today's competitive digital world?
Anyone?
Too often, digital campaigns fail because it's being handled by someone inexperienced.
It's time for Salem Surround, because our specialists break through all the clutter and put your message and your business front and center. Our team is the best of the best with years of experience and superior ideas and innovations. Salem Surround is obsessed with your success. No cookie cutter treatments here. Everything is tailored to you, your company, and your message.
With Salem Surround, you get it all. From up-to-the-minute analytic reports and insight to managing every aspect of your digital and marketing needs.
So let's turn up the volume on your business. Get started with Salem Surround today.
Learn more at SurroundSanDiego.com. That's SurroundSanDiego.com, connecting you with new customers.
Streaming now at TheAnswerSanDiego.com and Odyssey.com.
Portions of today's show may be pre-recorded.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Shooter ready? Stand by. Welcome to Gun Owners Radio. We are your Second Amendment community. Interviews, product reviews, politics, trivia. Gun Owners Radio has it all and more. Check us out at gunownersradio.com and tune in every week to hear Dave Stahl, Michael Schwartz, and all our guests talk about everything Second Amendment. Here we go.
All right, folks, welcome to Gun Owners Radio, FM 96.1. AM 1170.
The Answer.
Hey, attention California residents. Gun laws are changing across the country, and the recent SCOTUS ruling affirms your right to carry a concealed firearm. So now more than ever, it's critical you know your California gun laws. That's why U.S. Concealed Carry Association exists. And to help keep responsible Americans up to date with education and training, visit uscca.com/GOR to learn more about California gun laws and getting your concealed carry permit. That's uscca.com/GOR for the most up-to-date California gun laws. Act now. So we got a pretty good show lined up there, kid. Looks like it's you and I again.
Yes, sir.
Michael is still out cruising the countryside with his dad, which I think is a phenomenal deal. We're going to talk about SDCGO voter guide. Have you taken a look at it?
I have.
All right. And then we also have Mike Johnson in the house.
How's it going?
Good. We also have the Los Angeles mayoral candidate, Karen Bass. We're not going to have her in. No, we're going to talk about the fact she had her gun stolen.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. 2 firearms stolen were safe and secure. Other valuables were ignored. She states she feels her safety is a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, but she still wants to support defund the police and was quiet during the 2020 riots. And then, of course, the Mike Johnson's going to talk about SDMUST holster review. Karla Talley from IE Gun Owners and Sam the Gunman. So we got a pretty full show. So you got new jewelry, huh?
I do.
Yeah, you look good in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Did you get that from Leo Hamill?
this is an upgraded model. He hasn't gotten this one in stock yet.
Oh, I notice there's no diamond in the middle of it. And I know you are a diamond kind of a girl. So, have you had a chance to look at the voter's guide?
I did. I took a sneak peek at it. I haven't really spent a whole lot of time looking it over thoroughly. I just kind of surface looked for now.
Yeah, I know. But that's mainly what, for San Diego County?
Correct.
Or San Diego?
County.
County. So maybe Alpine will be, because normally Alpine's not in it.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Which I'm totally in the dark.
Get on Mike about that.
Yeah. Well, I think if the candidates reach out, then they could maybe get on there, right?
I don't know how Michael does that, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know his criteria. That's a great question.
Yeah, I need to ask him when he gets back. But I know I've tried to rely on it in the past, and it's like, well, this guy's not in there, and this girl's not in there, and this guy's not in there. And then it informs me that his guide is more county. Can we set that over there to shoot that way? Just so I'm not staring at. Oh, how much nicer is that? Now I can see your face. So it should be a pretty interesting show. It should be an interesting vote. What do you think about all these Democrats dumping tons of money into the Republican races, thinking that that's the answer?
Oh, gosh.
I know.
What were you saying? I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, but I hear both sides have done that. This is not the first time somebody has done that.
No, absolutely not.
But how would you think that would work?
There's, there's got to be layer upon layer of method to the madness.
Must be that. Things we don't know about.
No,
yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be a crazy midterm, right, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, like what you're talking about. I think they want to choose their opponents. So if they dump enough money into...
But how do they know? Let's just say they choose me over you because they think I'm going to be an easier...
I don't know. They use polling or some magic, wizard sitting in a closet somewhere to pick this. Some of it doesn't make any sense.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me either because unless it backfires, and then they'll say, okay, well, we're not doing that again.
Oh yeah, if they actually pick some winners, and then all of a sudden that's not going to be such.
Pull your mic
plan.
just a little bit closer to you.
Okay.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I know it's to me it's as strange as can be. So is Michael coming back next week? Because I think we need to do a full segment on the voter guide, don't you?
He will be back. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he told somebody.
You think he'll have a suntan when he gets back?
No, he doesn't.
He's in Colorado. I doubt it.
Yeah. He's dealing with the squirrels.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't they have a squirrel or something drinking out of a coffee cup?
I have no idea.
I don't know what it is either. But it's funny. I did a whole segment in one of my other shows, and the whole premise was, if you don't like what's going on, vote. And if you vote enough, it's hard to cheat. If everybody gets out and votes, and I mean everybody, not 2%, 5%, 10%. I'm talking everybody get out and vote. And I'm not telling you which way to vote, just vote. Because the more people that vote, the harder it is to cheat. Don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. They take all those unused votes, and that's wiggle room for them to
to slide in there. Well, it's funny if you look at the number of registered Republicans and registered independents and third-party candidates. If all of them voted, it would more than double or triple the amount of total voters in the last election.
That's why it makes me crazy when they say, well, it's 50-50. Well, how could it be 50-50?
Yeah, that's impossible.
How in the world could it be 50-50? It makes absolutely no... Because, I'm not being political, but if you watch rallies...
Oh, yeah.
If you watch the left rally and 12 people show up, and you watch the right rally and half the county shows up, something's not right.
Something doesn't add up.
Something doesn't add up. Yeah, I know. Something just doesn't. I know, it just makes me absolutely crazy. But it'll be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. I did a whole hour on electric cars and how they're trying to get there and what they're going to do and Brandon and I, we had a good time doing that show. But let me tell you, and it's the same thing. It's absolutely the same thing. Same thing with the off-road show. You got to vote. If you don't vote, you don't have a clock, do you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
there's one over there, and there's one over there. Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Hey, how come I don't have a big clock in here?
What do you want? What, or you want a Flavor Flav clock or something?
I
like
want
that?
a big clock so I can see it.
Big gold
Okay,
clock.
I'll see what I can do for you.
What do you mean see what you can do? Come on, man. You're moving us over here into, the ice box.
You love the air. You know what? Hold on. Action Jackson. I want to say Action Jackson was like cheering in the elevator when I said we're going to go into the air conditioned room. He was like, "All right, let's do it." I swear to you, Action Jackson, please back me up on this.
That?
As a matter of fact, yes, I completely vouch for the man.
So you like being over here, huh? You just like to look out the window, right?
Yes and no.
Hey, if the air show is going on, you'll like it because you can watch all of the.
That's true. Yeah, the
Miramar's right over there.
I was going to say when the Thunderbirds fly over Miramar, you could see it all the way from here, and you can hear it too. So
you can hear
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
It'll rattle the windows.
Yeah,
this will be our new studio from now on. Thanks to you. I was perfectly happy in the dark.
In that cave that's over there.
I like being in the cave. But oh no, Action Jackson. You pulled weight on me. I see how it is.
What?
It's like you brought your toy box with you. What do you brought? You gonna shoot? You're not gonna shoot anybody with
Is that a Lego gun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are you ready?
Did you make a Lego holster for it though?
He's ready.
No, but I did make a pocket knife for it.
Well, of course you did.
All right, so Mike Johnson is the director for SDCGO, a nonprofit, and is running for Escondido City Council.
But first, if you have legal matters that involve firearms, then you need to call California firearms lawyer John Dillon, especially if you have questions about red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you just need to know that your guns are California compliant. Call our trusted firearms attorney, John Dillon. John Dillon specializes in California gun laws. Call 760-642-7150, or you can visit his website at dillonlawgp.com. Well, Mike, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So you're going for the city council, huh?
Yeah, in Escondido.
In Escondido?
Yeah.
Good deal.
That's
what
where I live, so.
Prompted you to do that?
So I think just fighting bad government for so long on the outside, it's gotten to the point where I think I might be more effective if I'm on the inside, to kind of bring the power back to the people instead of the other way around. I think right now there's a really big disconnect between the people and their elected representatives, especially in California where it's real obvious where there's this majority rule where they feel like they can just do whatever they want without any kind of backlash or repercussions. And this has been a progressive thing that's been happening over the last 30 years, and a lot of people have been running away, but I'm just going to stay and fight because it's going to follow you if you run. It's just going to go to wherever you go.
Well, you're 100% correct. And so was there any kind of what'd you do before you got it? Is this your first political attack or political job? Or
I think I ran for student council a long time ago in junior high, but I lost that one. But the other person was a lot more popular than me, so I didn't.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah, but it's fine. I think she was actually better for the job.
Was it Alicia?
Oh, no, it was.
Did you beat him out?
I didn't grow up in bougie Escondido, no.
Yeah.
Bougie Escondido?
Yeah.
You have to have a passport to get to Escondido. Do you know
that?
Escondido
is.
You know where I grew up?
It's one of the oldest cities in San Diego County. It was
I know.
Incorporated in 1888. So it's
I know.
Gold Rush time.
Right.
Yeah.
So, SDMUST, is that your slogan?
Yeah, so SDMUST is actually, the nonprofit we started back in 2003. Originally it was me, my brother, and a couple of my friends. I had just actually had a really rough surgery that I was recovering from. So one of the things that I used to do would be since I was a kid was, hey, let's go shooting. It's nice, it's relaxing. You're out in nature. It's kind of release some pent up frustration on some stuff. But we tried to go to the location that we normally went to, and we found out it was closed. And then we tried another location, it was closed. And then we looked into it, and the internet wasn't really useful at the time for this kind of thing. So we found that calling BLM and the sheriff and everyone else, there really weren't very many places left to go shooting even back then. So we said, hey, you know what? Why are they being closed? And the number one reason was usually because it's too messy or the garbage. There was a couple other reasons, but primarily it was because of the mess. And it was like, well, I kind of asked, I think the ranger at the time, like, well, what if we started cleaning up? Do you think that would help keep the areas that are open to stay open? And he's like, well, it's not going to hurt. So we decided to kind of start a regular group of people that we would take out, us or new friends, friends or people, first-time shooters, kids, younger people that weren't really comfortable shooting indoors, but a lot of people, their first place they learned how to shoot was outdoors. So we're like, hey, let's continue that. So we started going out on a regular basis, going to the areas that were open on BLM land, Bureau of Land Management, not the other one. So we'd go out to the land and we would just start picking up. And it's funny, when we first went, I mean, we were filling several truck beds full of garbage at some of these local areas. And then over the years, we started kind of we didn't really publicize it too much. People just kind of found out about it. But then we started going on like Cowguns and online and just looking at forums and just inviting other people to come with us. So now we have officially we have about 350 members, I believe. But you don't pay a fee or anything. You just volunteer your time.
Yeah,
that's how
volunteer
you
your
pay.
time.
Yeah. So, if you join our email list, basically you're a member, because we just let you know when we have cleanups or there's other calls. That was how we started. But then eventually it formed into, it's not just about them shutting down public land. There's this disconnect of realizing you need to take part in your community, in your local politics, in the local lawmaking, and all of that. Because
you mean staying home and complaining isn't the answer?
No, and especially as the internet started getting bigger, and all these Facebook and Instagram and everything, and MySpace even, people just love to complain online, but that doesn't fix anything. You actually have to, our motto is get out and get involved. That's you have to get out from behind your desk or your computer screen and actually go out into the world. And it ties back into it's not just, the public land cleanups, but it's like your city council,
sure,
or your school board, water board, the board of supervisors. All of these people can do something that can shut down your ability to go to this land, which people don't realize.
And they don't want you at the meetings.
Yeah, and they're used to them. They're just sitting there running through the meetings. And I remember I used to just go to the meetings just to see the crackpot show up, because there would always be that one guy talking about how like aliens were going to kind of switch bodies with us and raise our water rates or something. I mean, it was always
There's always somebody.
It's always somebody, and I actually love that. And then in the open, the non-agenda items. But then, I noticed that most people didn't even realize that you could go to these meetings.
No.
I mean,
they don't publicize it.
No, they have a lot of these meetings are at like 9:00 on a Tuesday when most people would be at work. So the average working person isn't going to be able to take off work to go to the meeting. And first you have to find the agenda item that pertains to you, and then you have to find out when they're going to talk about it, and then you have to get off work, drive if you live in one of the rural areas, you got to drive all the way downtown to the county administration building, for instance, and then you have to sit there and wait for them to bring up your agenda, and then they give you,
a minute.
They used to give you 2 minutes, but then, some recent actions by the board, which I think are going to be challenged soon, is they changed the rules where they can limit it to a minute, and they can limit the number of speakers, and they also have a no clapping rule right now, where it's they changed the rules where you're not allowed to clap or cheer or anything else.
Right.
Well, you're not allowed to clap or cheer for your items, but when Nathan Fletcher is up there giving out awards, he demands you clap, or else.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he gavels you and shuts you up. But that's actually unconstitutional. Speaking of John Dillon, actually, we've been talking to him about possibly going after the Board of Supervisors for that, because there's actually lots of case law that.
But they don't. They know they can get away with it.
They know they can get away with it because no one challenges them.
That's
but
right.
If people get out and get involved and challenge them and use their own rules against them, then they may not get away with as much stuff.
Well, it's we have to shine a light on situations like this. And it takes guys like you and girls like, I'm sure, trying to do the same thing you're doing.
Oh, it's funny. When I started in 2003, there was maybe 4 or 5 little groups that were kind of doing what they could, and with very limited reach. Now there's actually some very good groups right now that focus on state legislation and local legislation. There's a lot of activist groups now that we work with that are amazing. They
well,
go.
You know who we need to hook you up with, because I've got them hooked up with gun owners San Diego County gun owners, and that's SDORC, San Diego Off-Road Coalition.
Oh yeah, we actually do work with them on a lot of stuff.
On cleanups.
Yeah, on cleanups.
Because it's the same thing. The off-road community, I mean, they're trying to do everything humanly possible to shut down the trails, the deserts, you name it, and they use trash as an example.
And they start with one. They'll say like, okay, well, no more off-roading, and then they say no more shooting, or they go no more shooting, no more off-roading. It's all tied
and then
together.
no more camping,
and then no camping,
more walking,
no hiking.
Yeah.
You know, you can't bring your dog there anymore.
Right. Well, no, and the sand sports show is going on right now up in the wherever the heck it's going, and that's where my two co-hosts called in from.
Yeah.
And the groups, kind of like what your group is, they're so big and they're so strong, and they are definitely a thorn in the side of the government.
Oh, and they should be. I mean, the government, it shouldn't be easy for them to legislate.
No.
You know, it should be a debate. It should be open to the public, and that's what public meetings are. Public meetings are specifically designed for the public to participate, which includes booing and clapping, and
And aren't politicians, I might have this wrong, but public servants?
Yes.
What?
Oh, I know.
Oh,
That's
what
amazing,
a concept.
Right?
Bet you never knew that, did you?
The concept that if you actually look at the power structure of San Diego County on this county's website, at the very top above the Board of Supervisors, the people, and then the Board of Supervisors, and then all the employees underneath.
But they don't talk about that.
No, they don't like to publicize. You have to dig pretty deep to find that, but it's there.
It's there. See, and again, it's like I did a whole hour. You have, if you want to make change, voting is one way.
Oh, that's a big way, yeah.
And getting involved like you're doing is another way.
Yeah.
So,
and that's one of the things, like, there's all these little groups out there that run on very tight, small budgets.
If a budget at all.
If at all, yeah. If they're not just paying out of your own pocket. So, I mean, if people just reach out to some of these small organizations, well, like ours, and you can donate or volunteer even, just any of those things help to set back, the costs and the work. And so it's not falling on just a handful of people.
Right. But see, the left or the other group has all the money they need.
And they're very well organized.
Yes.
When you go to see, the funny thing is when they have like a march of some type, it's not just one issue. It's like 20 different issues, but they all agree, let's show up on this day at this time. The people on, the more conservative end, they don't do that. No. They just do their own thing. And
because we don't want to cause any trouble. We're pretty complacent, and we just want to live our lives and raise our kids and
go to work and pay taxes.
Yeah.
Go to work and pay. Well, I don't know about paying taxes, but go to work. But the other side, and I guess the best way to do it, if they have a buzzword, the left, everybody on the left uses.
Oh yeah, their marketing is actually very good.
It's a phenomenal, and that's why I think it's as hard as it is for the right to win. But you have to. I mean, you just you can't give up.
Can't give up.
I mean, how many gun shows have you heard of in Southern California?
Not many anymore.
You might have them on podcasting, but I mean on a 50,000 watt station.
There's a handful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't give up. You cannot stop the fight.
Well, people need to realize the man right now is the left. It's
right.
The anti-gun, anti-rights. They want to tax your property. Yep. They want the working class to basically work down to their stumps, and then
to meter my well.
Yeah.
It's my water. I paid for this property. You can't come in and put a meter on my well.
Oh yeah, and then the one of the big issues why I wanted to run as well for city council is if I can get on city council, I can get on the Sandag board where they want to do the per mile tax.
I think they should just eliminate Sandag. That'll save you.
Yeah, they should disband it.
Then you can go straight to governor. All right, hey, do you have trouble fitting in a workout? Yeah, of course I do. I'm very busy. Well, you got to try Leo Fit. Leo Fit is a super high-tech gym that delivers the benefits of 3 to 6 hours of traditional strength training in just 2 20-minute sessions a week. Yes, that sounds hard to believe, but because the machines are computer-controlled, they deliver the maximum weight you can safely handle by the second. that's how you get the highest possible return on your fitness investment. So, founded by Leo Hamill at the jewelry store, Leo Fit guarantees increased metabolism, strength, and fitness in every session. You will not understand how effective it is until you try. 20 minutes twice a week replaces hours of weightlifting and aerobics. You can sign up on the website at leofitlabs.com or type LeoFit in your browser for more information and sign up for a free session. And you know, Alicia, we should send Action Jackson and put him down there to Leo Fit and see if he comes back looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, I'm in. What do you think, Jackson?
Yeah, you could do all that weightlifting.
I'll cross my fingers.
Yeah. You'll look good. You'll be all buff. You'll look like Mike. All right, so we got Mike Johnson. Not that Mike. We got this Mike here.
Yeah.
Campaigning for city council in Escondido. So, by the way, you got endorsed by San Diego County.
Yeah, that's good news.
I mean, that's real good news because he's not the easiest guy to make happy. Let me tell you.
It's you got to get answer the right questions, say the right things to get endorsed.
So when's the election?
So November 8th is the election, but the mail-in ballots actually go out October 10th.
Okay.
So technically, once you get the mail-in ballot, you can just start mailing them back.
I'm not a mail-in fan.
Yeah, I'm more of a do-it-in-person.
I want to go in and stare at somebody when I hand them.
I like filling out little boxes.
And I also like handing them my driver's license.
Yeah,
just to watch them get. No, they do. They get all freaked out.
Squirm.
Oh no, don't give me that. Like
yeah. You go. Oh, we don't want to know who you are.
Yeah, it's like you put a flaming bag of dog poop on their.
Yeah,
little,
I know.
Like, no.
I know. I hear you. All right, so we're very optimistic at this station and this show. So you win. Okay. What does that do to the Escondido board? How does that balance as far as left and right?
So right now, the Escondido City Council there's three, it's technically a nonpartisan position, but let's be honest, there's three conservative city council members, and then the mayor and the person I'm running against they're Democrats.
Okay.
I mean, let's just be honest.
So if you get in, would you say you have the majority as conservatives?
So right now, the one other city council seat, my city council seat, and then the one I'm running for, and then the mayor is all up for election. So there's a conservative person running named Dame White. He's actually on the school board right now. He's also endorsed by San Diego County Government as well.
And what's he running for?
He's running for mayor.
Okay.
And then Joe Garcia, he's on the city council now, but he's running. So he's in one district, but with redistricting, he actually lives now in another district. So he's actually just running for his new district. So I would say he's the incumbent because he's already on the council.
Yeah, he's already on. Yeah.
And then there's another person running. I don't remember. But basically, if we get it to go, if I win and Garcia gets his new seat and Dane wins his seat, then it would be pretty much all, I guess, a more conservative.
More so than it is.
More moderate to conservative city council.
Right.
So I think if we get it going that way, what that does is that allows us, right now we actually don't have a representative on Sandag because the mayor was on the board. The city council didn't have faith in him to do what's best for the city, so they voted him off. And then the second replacement was Consuelo Martinez. They voted that they didn't want her on it either because she was just going to do what the mayor was doing. And then Mike Morosco was the second, alternative, and the mayor wouldn't allow him to be on the board. So right now we actually have no representation in Sandag.
Wow.
Because they don't want to give it to a conservative person. So first things first,
So if the mayor who's a conservative makes it,
gets to a point who goes to Sandag.
Okay.
And then the council votes on it. So right now we have no representative. So first thing, if I get elected, first thing I want to do is I want to audit everything. I want to figure out all the revenue coming in and all the revenue going out because there's a discrepancy that I've seen from my research that, the budget that we're working with in Escondido with a population of 150,000 people is very low, for what it should be. There's a big mess of unincorporated and incorporated land that needs to be resolved. That hasn't been. which would help to give us more revenue. But the biggest thing we need to do is we need a representative on Sandag.
Right. What would that do for you if you get that?
That would at least give us a voice on Sandag. And, everyone that I've talked to, either Joe, Mike, or me, or even Dane, any one of us would want to go on Sandag and say, we oppose the mileage tax.
Okay. Now, Sandag is?
The San Diego Association of Governments.
Okay.
They're the ones that decide where the Transnet money, so all the gas tax money that you've been paying for the last 30 years, they decide
where that goes.
Where that goes locally. Right now, a lot of that is, there's something called a weighted vote that Lorena Gonzalez pushed because she wanted to make sure that the union-heavy cities had more of a say on Sandag than the non-union ones. Basically, there's a
blatant as can be. Too.
Oh, yeah. There's a weighted vote now where San Diego and Chula Vista, because they have more people, they can say, hey, we just do whatever we want, and the rest of you small cities, we don't really care about you.
Yeah, you guys just do whatever you.
And that's what they've been doing. Even though we were promised that they would fix like the 78, the 67, the 52, like all the smaller freeways where they really need improvements. I mean, the funny thing is these smaller freeways everybody uses as backways around traffic and everything else, and people are dying on these roads because they have not made these improvements.
Well, and not only that, have you ever tried to go down the 15 and figure out what lane you're in?
Oh, I know.
Have you tried that?
Just yesterday.
Where it's all wonky.
That's enough to, and then it turns and goes left and right.
A good example is like the 78 and the 5. You can go to the 5 north off the 78, no problem. You have to go to a stoplight to go onto the 5 south. Like
I know.
That should have been fixed like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's not like they don't have the money.
Yeah, and even the 15 and the 78 merges, they kind of did it, but they didn't complete it how they were supposed to. That's a nightmare. I mean, the 67, it's supposed to be 4 lanes all the way up. It's 2 halfway.
I know.
People are flying off the road.
I know.
Freeway. It's
so bad, but like you said, the only way to fix it
is you need better representation.
You need better representation.
And people willing to work with the other small cities and put our feet down and be like, you know what? No, we're not doing that anymore.
Right.
And there's a way, and if La Mesa kind of, the candidate that at San Diego County gun owners backed, if she gets to stay on the city council and keep it the way it is, and if Escondido goes the way I hope it does, and some of these other small cities stay the way they are, we can stand up to these bigger cities and, get better representation on Sandag and bring, a lot of it is bringing a lot of the promises to fruition. That
it's just
promised.
what you're promised and what you deserve.
We all voters approved this tax because they thought we were going to get certain things done.
Yeah.
And they're not doing it.
Right.
Instead, they're funneling a majority of their money into transit, which only 2 to 3% of people use, and bike lanes, which even less use.
Oh, don't even bring up bike lanes because they're destroying small businesses.
Well,
with
it's
bike
destroying
lanes.
small businesses. It's not fair to people with disabilities like myself. It's not fair to people with families or people with children with autism. Like, what, are you going to throw your kid on the back of a bike?
Yeah.
And go pick up your groceries?
Yeah, I know.
You need to be able to park. There needs to be parking spaces for people to park.
And what happened to all of the, there's people running around looking for buildings and businesses that aren't, don't take care of the handicapped.
Oh, yeah.
And now all of a sudden those people are gone.
Yeah, and they don't care. They pretend to care about people with disabilities and illnesses and the elderly, but they don't. Even look at all the shutdowns that happened recently. That hurt people with disabilities more than anybody.
Yeah.
And they don't care. They just prop them up as pawns. They like to talk about political pawns. They'll use disabled, and that's what SDMUST has actually been doing for years. Is we've been standing up for people that were underrepresented, people with disabilities, the elderly, retired military, minority groups. That a lot of these gun laws that they pass, those are the people that get hurt the worst.
Sure,
disproportionately.
Yeah.
Like these gun storage laws. That's one of the things, like in Escondido, the unincorporated areas of Escondido, they have to abide by the county gun storage laws that they made up. But the city of Escondido can do what the city of Escondido decides what's best.
I know. I live in Alpine.
Yeah.
So I'm on the outskirts too. we just want to put a wall up so nobody can come up there.
How do you think they enforce these laws? They enforce it when they go there for like a wellness check.
Right.
Or they go there to check on someone who gets like, disability or IHSS or gets, welfare of some sort. They send someone out there and they happen to see a gun that's out, and then they call the sheriff to come
take it away.
Charge them with a felony. Like that's ridiculous.
Right.
They're not. Do you think they're going to like some rich house in like La Jolla or
No.
Encinitas or anything like that and being like, oh, let's crack down?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's just no,
They're
not in the least.
It's
and it's no different than the 87,000 what do you call it?
Oh, the armed IRS agents.
The IRS agents.
They're going to go after.
They're not going after.
They go primarily after Hispanic and Black people that are lower income.
Right.
Those are the people they audit more than anyone else.
You don't think they're going to go to Martha's Village?
Yeah, they're going to go to Martha's Vineyard and start cracking down on, with their armed guards kicking in
and
doors.
they actually think we believe this.
No, it's they don't care about gun safety. That's what they call it now. They don't want gun safety. They want gun control. That's what it is.
Yeah, because we
they're
have too many
use,
guns.
They're going to use armed people to go in and take your guns
Right.
and to go in and enforce all of these laws that they keep passing.
Sad.
And I'm opposed to that. And that's one of the reasons why I got the endorsement.
Right. Well, no, exactly. So how's your chances look?
I think it's pretty good. I think I'm running as an independent because they say it's nonpartisan, but I'm truly nonpartisan. I'm running as an independent. The only special interest I want to serve is the people.
Right.
And I want to bring focus back to local issues, not global issues.
Right.
Or state or
I
federal issues. I want to worry about Escondido issues, and that's it.
Right. Yeah, you just got a movie theater a few years back. That's the first time I'd seen a movie theater in Escondido.
Yeah,
it's not a big
there needs
deal.
to bring a lot more business back to Escondido.
Without a shadow of a doubt. All right. All right. Well,
If you're
Jackson,
like-
can you do that?
Yep. If you're like me, you don't have enough holsters in your holster drawer. Maybe a Klinger holster is for you. Alicia has the gear review next.
But first, do you know we have a world-class flight training school here in San Diego? Pilots can fly almost every day. We're close to the ocean, the desert, and the mountains. And that's why San Diego is one of the best places to learn how to fly in the world. You can learn to fly in sunny San Diego right at Montgomery Field. Getting started is super easy. Call 858-569-1822, 858-569-1822. All right, you're going to go ahead and let's do your gear review.
Do that first? Okay.
Sure.
All right. So, just like Jackson hinted at. So, for those of us who are gun enthusiasts or shooters of any type, whether it's a hobbyist or, whether you compete, whatever it may be, I'm sure we all have a drawer of holsters. And I thought it'd be kind of an, there's a lot of the main brands that a lot of us have heard of, and we probably all have. But I thought, let's give some of the smaller guys a shot, some of the ones that are lesser known. So I went ahead and did a little bit of research. I found this one called Klinger holsters. And I gave it a shot. And so the holster, so I'll go ahead and show you here. So the holster, they have several different attachment points. This is a concealed holster inside the waistband. It does have an attachment point here that you can see is a piece of leather, so it's malleable. It'll mold to the body. And then the clips do hold a decent sized belt. By way of review, one thing that I noticed is that if I did not have a thicker belt, the clip did not hold all that well on, just practicing drawing. On occasion, it might slip and pop out just a bit. So if you're going to go with this guy, I would highly recommend that you wear a good, thick, heavy belt. Your thinner belts may not be all that great for it. They do sell
the belt that you reviewed last week would have been perfect.
Absolutely.
What was the name of that belt?
That was the core belt. All right. So they also have a second, they have a package deal to where you actually get a second shell. And I opted for two different, this is a Smith & Wesson. This one here is a Glock. You don't have to get both shells the same. It will let you customize and get two different shells. On this one, I did use more of a low profile clip that I want to test both options out. What's nice is it has a pivot point here, so it allows you to change the cant or the angle of the holster, and it does sit pretty low in the waist on the belt. It is a good Kydex that's good and strong. It does completely cover your trigger guard, all those good important things that you need in a holster. So the one thing, though, that makes them a little bit different that I really like is that they have this additional little piece on the back called a cushion. That simply they give you some Velcro pieces that you attach. So this piece here goes up against your body, and it just gives a little bit of cushion support so that I don't know how often you've ever worn a Kydex holster, but
Yeah, it
Kydex
just
up
rubs
against
on
the
your
skin,
side,
it
yeah.
rubs, you get sweaty. Some people get like a little bit of a heat rash. It's just not all that comfortable. So this additional pad that you can place on the back of your holster just gives a nice soft surface up against the skin. It does absorb that sweat if you happen to get some. It's just, I have had no issues with rubbing or chafing or heat rash or any of those things that I've had with other holster types. One thing that I've also done is I have given this Klinger holster a good ride. I've used it quite a bit. But it's not the one that I use all the time. Depending on what I'm wearing and what I'm doing, sometimes I do choose a different holster. But what's kind of nice is I just have gone out, went to the local store, got some more additional Velcro tabs, and I actually will place this cushion on my other holsters too. So the Klinger holster setup, I'd say it's a pretty decent holster. My only complaint or recommendation would be that I would love to see them strengthen these clips a little bit, not to have so much give. It has more than I think is necessary. I would like to see it hug a little tighter. Other than that, I found it to be a great holster. The retention on it is pretty decent. They do have some additional attachment points. This is the attachment point that you could place this clip here. What's nice is they do have additional. They have additional pieces. I don't know if some people like gadgets and pieces. You can turn any of their holsters into an outside the waistband holster if you choose to. The attachment points are on both sides of the holster, so it can be left or right, inside or outside the waistband. So if you want kind of a one, for lack of a better term, one size fits all your purposes, and you don't mind changing a few screws on occasion, it's actually a pretty decent holster that it meets a lot of those needs. And I actually pretty enjoyed it. It was one that I kind of came across by chance on the internet. I just was kind of doing a search on holsters, came across it, and decided to give it a try. So I would say definitely it's one to give it a try, especially if you have a need for some different options inside, outside, different concealment options. As far as pricing goes, if you want to get just the simple holster with this setup here, this is $49. If you want just this guy, this is $69. If you want to get the combo of all the pieces, I believe it was $109 or $106. And so in addition to the pricing there, they are actually giving us a special discount code. I reached out to Klinger Holsters. They are giving us a special promo code. They are giving all listeners 10% off with the promo code GOR10.
Colors?
All black. I believe I only saw black when I was ordering.
Well, that's a Henry Ford thing.
Yeah.
You can have any color you want as long as it's black.
Yeah, as long as it's black.
There you go.
All right. Well, that was a good review. And so did you talk to him about the belt being a little bit tighter, the clip?
Yeah, I haven't actually given that feedback to them yet. I'll be reaching. So we've been in contact with them, and then what's kind of neat is they also are going to be giving us some freebie things that we're going to be giving away some listeners. So I'm in contact with the company. What's kind of funny is the woman I've been working with or talking to with Klinger Holsters actually grew up in San Diego. So she's a local, but she lives out of state now. So we bonded a little bit. So we'll be talking. But so they are going to be doing a giveaway. They're mailing us some goodies. And if you are interested in getting your name in that drawing for that giveaway, you can just sign up at gunownersradio.com/subscribe, and we'll be picking a winner next week.
Free goodies.
Free goodies.
Action Jackson probably wants them all.
Depending on what they are.
Yeah, I had a funny feeling. All right. So now, is this only on the internet, or do any of the gun stores carry them?
I've seen them it's only online. Online.
Yeah, okay, all right. So Discount Gun Mart's not carrying them?
No, they are not. No, online only. So just look at KlingerHolsters.com.
Is that what Klinger kind of wants, staying online?
That's a great question.
It's easier to follow and control inventory when it's online versus.
And when you build a custom product that's molded to different gun types, they will mold. If you have, for example, a light laser red dot, they will make those cutouts and those custom.
So you actually go online and custom make your. Okay,
yep.
There you go. And that's really what you want.
Yeah, and it's hard to do. It's hard to supply that to a store. It's hard to anticipate what the needs are going to be.
Well, and you got.
A lot of stock.
All the variations, can you imagine?
Right.
You'd be busy.
Yeah, the overhead would be nuts. You just have to
that would be too. And then what sells and what doesn't sell. Yeah. And if you do it on consignment, which most gun stores or businesses want everything on consignment, now you got to keep track of it.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, online.
All right, that's pretty cool. So, how many more holsters do you own?
Oh, geez.
You just have like a duffel bag. Of
I have a
somewhere?
big. I have a big bag. I'd say at least 10 to 15.
More than shoes?
Yes.
Yeah, more
Yeah,
holsters
I
than you
do.
have shoes.
I do.
And this is
It's
coming
true.
from a girl.
It's
like
true.
shoes for your gun.
Right.
Well, comfort's comfort.
That's right.
Right?
It's important.
Comfort's
and
comfort.
And you're not going to know until you get it on your body if you like it. It
Oh,
can
yeah.
look great in an ad. It can look great on someone else. It can
You have
look
to
great
wear
in
it
the store.
around for a while and
Right.
figure out how bad it is.
Yeah,
how
and it can
comfortable
feel
is.
great the first 5 minutes, but
Right.
you go and you sit, you walk, you
Get in a
just wear
car.
it. Yeah.
Driving a car.
Yeah. Try drawing from sitting down in your car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yep.
All right. So you give it a scale of 1 to 10. What would you give it?
So so for me the clip issue is a concern. Other than that, I think it's a great holster. If they improve that clip, I'd say it's a 10. At this point with the clip, I'd say it's more of an 8.
Okay.
To be fair.
It's too bad they couldn't make that clip like adjustable.
I would like to see it more firm.
Yeah.
I feel
It
like
does
it's,
seem a little on the flimsy side.
It just
Yeah.
a little. It's not.
All they really have to-
I've had worse.
Yeah, they could upgrade the clip. Just put
That
a
would be
heavier,
wonderful.
It's
beefier
almost like
clip.
they made it for like people that wear thick jeans and pants. With
Maybe.
your belt. Cause then
But I
guess
think
that would take
but
up-
I wonder if the core belt would make that different.
It still slipped on me. On
Oh,
occasion.
that's right, 'cause
Yeah, I
you
did. I
have-
tried it. It wasn't 100%. I'd say it was maybe 30% of the time I would get some rise, and for me that's a little,
It's a little
so,
much.
a little bit more than I would prefer.
Yeah.
However,
So.
Yeah.
So did you like it inside or outside?
oh, I wear inside.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that? Just so it's more concealed.
Yeah. So my preference is there are times where I need an outside the waistband holster. My outside, I prefer a cant away from the body cant. This doesn't provide that.
Oh.
This is going to be a pretty low profile.
Gotcha.
So my preference is this is inside.
Gotcha.
For me.
All right. Well, that sounds like a good way to go. So, folks, keep an eye out. Get on San Diego County GunOwners.com.
So sign up at
GunOwners.
gunownersradio.com/subscribe.
Don't mind me. All right.
Dave.
If you want to win something, we don't know what it's going to be yet.
Well, I do, but I want it to be a surprise.
Oh, don't you hate surprises? Don't you hate
it's gonna be good.
surprises, Action Jackson?
Yes and no.
You like
Only
your,
in my food.
you like your birthday?
Yes.
You want to see what you get before your birthday? Or can you
Kinda.
wait? When is your birthday?
April 13th.
April 15th?
13th.
13th? Oh, you got to wait a whole year almost. But it's coming sooner than you think. All right.
I think really quickly, I think Jackson has a question for Mike. What do you think, Jackson? You ask a question?
Yeah, you got a question for Mike?
Uh,
What's your favorite gun?
oh, what's your favorite gun, Mike?
My favorite gun? I mean, I see guns as tools, so depending on the purpose, depends on, I guess, I think my favorite gun is a...
Which one makes you smile?
I have a Kimber Pro Carry 2 1911 that's probably like things just like a...
That
just
one
drive
makes you-
nails with that thing. I
That
mean,
just makes you smile, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I got it as a gift, and I think that's why I like it so
There
much,
you
because
go.
it was a present.
Hey, folks, Gun Prom is coming to the Inland Empire. Get your dresses and suits ready. Dust off those dancing shoes and get ready to celebrate and support the Second Amendment. You can join us and other Second Amendment supporters on November 12th at 2022 at March Air Museum in Riverside. Celebrate with delicious food, drinks, dancing, and you get to see a few airplanes. Don't miss your chance to win some amazing prizes, too, and support the Second Amendment at the same time. Get your tickets now at gunprom.com. Okay, we got Karla Talley. We're going to bring her on, but first, we're going to let Mike just kind of throw a little plug out. He's running for Escondido City Council. How can people help you?
So if you go to Mike, the number 4, and then d1.com, you can. There's a links there where you can donate to my campaign, which I need help because I'm running as an independent. And then, or if you want to volunteer, I need people to kind of help me. What I've been doing most of my work really with that is I'm going door to door, just knocking on doors,
Right.
asking people what they need they need, what they want fixed, what they like and don't like about Escondido. But if you want to volunteer, I need people that can go around putting door hangers on, and just so people can see my lovely face. And
how's the reception by knocking on doors?
Honestly, that's almost what I love most, even with like the SDMUST stuff, is just talking to people. I love going out with the people and being with my neighbors and everyone else. But yeah, it's been really good. Most people are glad I'm there. They say thank you when I leave. It's very Escondido. I love Escondido. That's why I moved there. I mean, everyone there is. It's like a community. It doesn't matter what race you are, or what language you speak, or what church you go to, or any of that. It's like you realize this is your neighbor, and
that's right.
You get that connection right away. It's amazing.
And you got a really good car show too.
Oh yeah, the Cruising Grand is awesome. Yeah, I mean that's been going on for a while. I mean, I wish I had an old car. I'm actually probably going to try to buy it.
You got an 04 Jeep. You're halfway there,
I
brother.
got an old Jeep Grand Cherokee, but I mean, I actually want to get an older truck, like an old pre-73 truck, and just
I might have something for you. We'll talk off air.
Yeah,
I gotta
we'll talk
go
off
look
air, 'cause
I gotta go look at a '69 3/4 ton Chevy
that's
Monday. Yeah. Hey, let's talk to Karla Talley. She's throwing a party.
I'm here. How is everyone?
We're doing wonderful. So the party's getting ready to rock and roll?
Oh, it's all coming together. I can't wait.
So tell the folks why they should drive all the way to the Inland Empire.
Because it's going to be Inland Empire's event of the year.
See, I knew you had a good excuse.
Yes, it's going to be the best event. We're going to have Cowboy West Production serving up some great barbecue. The wine trailer will be out. They'll be there to serve up drinks. Riverside Indoor Shooting Range is bringing their smokeless shooting simulator out for some target shooting fun. And then we have some great auction items up for grabs. We have an all-inclusive Caribbean 5-day trip for 2 adults, a 5-day trip to Cabo and Costa Rica, and my favorite is the Kentucky Bourbon Experience in Lexington for 2 adults. That includes a 3-night stay at a 4-star hotel, a private tour of 3 of the boutique distilleries, tastings included, a private executive car with a driver, and dinner at Jeff Ruby Steakhouse.
Wow.
Darn. That's kind of, that's worth it right then and there.
I have some family that did that, and
Did you?
they said it was awesome.
I bet.
Going to all the
little
distilleries. Yeah, there's some cool opportunities out there.
Yeah, no kidding. So when's the date of your event?
November 12th, and it's at 5 p.m., and we're holding it at March Air Museum in Riverside on Van Buren.
And that is a pretty cool museum as well, if you're into aviation.
It's beautiful, and that's one of the things we asked them to leave the planes in the building for us so that we can enjoy that.
Sure. I know. I love it. I love going to aviation museums. I think they're the coolest things ever. So how'd you become the executive director? What, you didn't show up to a meeting?
Well, that's a good question, because when I joined as a member, I had no intentions of being the executive director. But then my predecessor decided that she was going to move out of state with her husband because he had a job transfer. And I knew everything was going to fall on the shoulders of Michael Schwartz. So I offered to do some back office stuff. And over the few weeks that I was doing that, Michael and Wendy were handing me more and more work. And after about a month and a half or so, he's like, well, why don't you become the executive director? You're already doing almost everything. And so I did, and I did it part-time for a while and realized that it needed to be a full-time job. So last July, I resigned from my job as a DOD contractor with the Navy of 28 years and started doing this full-time.
Wow. You must have that same disease Schwartz has, because he was heavy-duty into the banking world, doing really well, not having any problems. Next thing you know, he quits his job, and now he started San Diego County gun owners, and so you guys got to quit going to lunch together. I think he's infectious.
Well, it's a worthwhile cause. Our Second Amendment is very important, and I firmly believe that if we allow our Second Amendment rights to be removed, all the other ones will follow shortly, and that should worry everyone, not just gun owners.
Well, it's kind of like our guest that's in studio. He lives in Escondido, and he realized that he needs to do something. So he's running for city council. Has he ever ran for public office in the past? No. that we're aware of. Well, he said he lost.
Well, we need to
when he
be a
was
government of the people, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
But he
not-
lost when he was in high school. But that's his only defeat so far.
It's not a government of career politicians. Right?
Yeah, it's not
And,
supposed to
I
be.
hear a lot of people doing that now.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Well, I think, much as I hated COVID, I think that this COVID was one of the best things that could have happened, getting people off the couches, whether it be school board, city council, or what have you. But what I want to do is I want to see people like Mike to go in and change the mindset of the council meetings to where the public, is welcome to come to the
they
meetings.
should be more involved.
To be more involved, because the more people that join up with like-minded causes, the more we can get done.
If you go to some small town councils in like the middle of America or even the middle of California, almost the whole town shows up. It's a population of like 100 people and like 90 of them are there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they want to take part in what's going on in their town. And like, I wish people were more like that here, because there's a lot of, what people feel like a small town where everybody.
Yeah, but they don't want to. They don't want to invite you because they can get a lot more.
No, because then they can't slip things under the radar like they've been doing.
So now that you've dove into this, do you see going up the ladder or just staying right where you're at and just keep making, the Inland Empire better and better and better?
Well, right now my concentration is just making the Inland Empire better and better.
Right.
Once I feel that I can't make a difference in my position, then I may go up further.
Right.
But as long as I'm making a difference here, I'm content.
So what's consistent of the Inland Empire? What is it?
Inland Empire is Riverside, San Bernardino County.
Okay.
San Bernardino, of course, we know is the largest county in the nation. Riverside is, I believe, the 12th or 13th largest. So it encompasses a vast footprint of cities and stuff. So we have, I believe it's like 73 cities in each county.
Wow.
It's huge.
That's amazing. That's
it's
amazing.
Huge.
Well, and it's so much unincorporated land there, too.
Right.
Yeah. So I take it you shoot?
I do.
Okay.
And that's a funny story because up until about 12, 13 years ago, I didn't.
Really?
I was one of these, I guess, conversion people that when my daughter was young, she's in her 30s now, but when she was little, I didn't even want her to have a squirt gun because I felt like it was kind of like a gateway thing.
Oh, yeah.
15 years ago, I found myself a single mother with a teenage daughter living on my own for the first time in 20 years. And I didn't feel as invulnerable as I did when I was in my late teens and early 20s.
I'll tell you what, hold that thought. We got to
Yes.
take a quick break because we have a rude board op. He decided to play music right in the middle of a great edge of your chair story, but we'll do it when we come back. All right, you got to read something, Sunshine. Oh, my gosh, the work you have to do.
Helping pro-gun officials get elected is one of the top things we do around here. Let's learn more with Karla Talley.
You got it. But first, a lot of companies are so frustrated with their websites. Looks old, out of date. It's not getting customers. But guess what? Sage Tree gets it. Since 2005, Sage Tree has been helping companies with websites that look great, work great, and get leads. Stop being frustrated by your website and get one that you're proud to share. Contact Sage Tree today to get a website that makes the phone ring. Getting started is super easy. 866-728-9100, 866-728-9100, and let's get your website fixed today. All right, we got Karla Talley back again, and so a couple of questions Mike had asked us, and Karla, welcome back. So why do you focus so much on local elections, especially, endorsing candidates?
Well, we are playing the long game because let's face it, when people get into politics, they don't just start out on the school board to stay on the school board. So we go out, we elect local politicians, we help them get into local offices, and then we help kind of push them up so that by the time they get to Sacramento and Washington, we have a friendly Second Amendment person in office that we can rely on.
Gotcha. Makes perfectly good sense.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like people don't just start off as governor, or in Congress.
Didn't do any worse.
No, they start off on a commission or like a committee, or they start off at water board or school board.
Well, they got to
and
get
work
their feet wet and just see what this is going to be all about.
Well, then they get name recognition and they can prove they can do the job.
Well, and they got to prove themselves to the public. I mean,
right. And we already have some really great organizations that work at the state and federal level, and we were lacking on the local level and saw, an opening, and that's where we kind of stepped in and said, hey, let's start here and push them up.
Right.
It's like the farm league for baseball, They start off AAA and work their way to the majors.
And then when they see a superstar, they go, ooh, we got to bring this
then they just
guy
push
or
them
girl
up to the
up.
top. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's interesting. So how do officials get endorsed through the Inland Empire group?
Well, the first step would be to fill out our candidate questionnaire on our website. It can be found under the elections tab. Then once that's submitted, it gets sent to me, and then I will contact them, have a meeting. Sometimes I'll go out to a meet and greet and talk to local candidates and invite them to fill out the questionnaire if I feel that what they're saying on the stage is good for us, because we are Second Amendment focused.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do some internet research to make sure that they're a viable candidate, talk to them about finances and where they stand on the issue of Second Amendment. And then I bring it to my advisory board. And then my advisory board will vote, giving all the information that I've given them. My advisory will board yay or nay. And then we let them know whether we endorsed them or not. Sometimes they have some more questions, but then we reach back out to the candidate, ask those questions, get them answered, and then we put out our voter guide.
Have you ever had to turn somebody down?
We have. Actually, there has been people who submitted questionnaires that weren't all that great. And then their comments or response when I reached back out to them, why they didn't answer, great, that they're supporting and they're going to go out of their way to support, and they will do everything they can to help support the Second Amendment. It's an insufficient answer if they say that it's anything other than I'm jumping in full feet and I'm going to, help you out. And so then we say, no, it's, sorry, we're probably not the organization that you want to endorse. But then sometimes we do have, maybe they answer one question that isn't great, but they have a really great reason not to. Example, our last board meeting, we had a candidate that answered that it was regarding the magazine ban, and he said he does not support and will not do anything to oppose the magazine ban. So I reached out and talked to him, and his reasoning was that he said that even though there's a 10-round limit on the mags themselves, there's not a limit on the amount of mags you can carry. So he didn't feel that in itself was a major issue, and that there's numerous other laws and bans that he felt that needed more focus before this one. So I expressed that to my board, and they said, that's a great answer. If it comes down to it and we don't have anything else to fight for, at least we can fight for that, and he would step up then.
All right.
And, so that's kind of where it goes. And we've also had some state people come and say, hey, can you endorse me? And we don't, endorse at the state level, but I do offer the candidates to come out and talk to our members at meetings and events.
Well, wait till you get as big as Michael, not figuratively speaking, because when he turns people down, they get really upset. Like, what do you mean? How come you don't endorse me? I love it. And sometimes you'll bring them on radio and just kills them. I
like to turn some of those people over to Michael, yes.
Oh, he's brutal. He comes across like a big teddy bear, but boy, when he gets his dander up, man, I'll tell you, he scares me sometimes.
It's like I support the Second Amendment, but people
Yeah.
Well, it's like, we need to do this.
Well, we had a sheriff or a guy running for sheriff that thought the red flag laws were just fine.
Yeah, I have an issue with the red flag
And Michael
laws.
just went sideways on him.
Yeah, when I have to send people to Michael, we usually try to play the good cop, bad cop.
There you
That's which
go.
one I am.
Well, this is really cute too, because I do local television, and that same guy running for sheriff showed up at KUSI, and he goes, "Hey, you're Dave Stahl." I go, "Yeah." He says, "You guys wouldn't endorse me." And I go, "Are you still asking why after what Michael told you?" And then he walked out of the room. He didn't want to talk to me.
Oh, and I think Michael told me that story.
Yeah, it's a great one too, because Michael is just as passionate as you are. In fact, you can't call Michael a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. He don't want to hear it. He's a Second Amendment advocate, and that's what he is.
That's right.
Yeah, he's about as
That's
nonpartisan as I've
as
ever
anybody
met
I've
anybody.
ever
Yeah.
met.
I mean,
And he doesn't care what party you come from, but if you truly believe in your Second Amendment rights and the Constitution,
I guess other than me,
then you're fine.
I think me and him are both. I think me and him, when San Diego County Gun Owners was being formed, I remember he reached out to me because I had been doing things, in the community before, and like I met him, and I mean, this guy's amazing. Like,
Oh,
he's
yeah. Oh,
very
yeah.
like. Is like, I think even like he jokes about like the Republicans just like the second worst party.
Yeah,
It's just-
I know. He's brutal. He is absolutely brutal. So, all right, let's see.
Carla, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Have you
sitting there
ever
all day.
proactively had to pursue anybody running for office to encourage them or kind of entice them to fill out your questionnaire, or do they really approach you looking for your endorsement?
Oh, yeah.
I would say about 90% of the people that we have on our list, I've had to go and request them to fill out. I've had to kind of not wine and dine them, but go out and pursue them and tell them what we're about, what we're looking at, what we want in a candidate, and ask them to please fill out the questionnaire.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a time where they're going to come to you. Trust me. I mean, you guys have how long have you guys had this group going? Not even a year, has it?
Well, we've been just over 3 years when it was Riverside and San Bernardino separately.
Oh, okay,
But it's
gotcha.
been just over a year that we merged them together. When I came
Nice.
on, I suggested that we merge them together since
Right.
I was handling
Yeah,
both counties.
they have mutual interests up there.
Sure. And you might as well, do one instead of all these individual ones.
Have you ever gone shooting out Bee Canyon up there?
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the areas I used to do cleanups up there too. So
Yeah, he's a big cleanup guy. And,
or out in Barstow. I mean,
Yeah.
there's,
In fact, I do another radio show. It's all off-road for the off-road community. Well, the majority of them shoot as well. So I've got San Diego County Gun Owners and San Diego Off-Road Coalition working together on a cleanup. They're going to go do a cleanup and a shoot. So
Yeah, nothing is as frustrating as when you're going out into the middle of the desert to do some shooting and there's just trash
there's
everywhere.
mountains of garbage.
And
yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
tons.
I mean, spent shells and
Refrigerators and
things that they've blown up. It's just,
televisions.
clean it
and-
up.
Yeah, we've been successful here in San Diego, so it's been
Well, we
nice.
call it pack it in and pack it out.
It's nice when actually the last
Exactly.
few years we've gone to cleanups. We've actually like the first couple years we filled like 40-yard dumpsters, and then it was one 40-yard dumpster. Then it was like a little tiny dumpster, and now it's like we actually have to go out in the weeds and look for garbage sometimes because there's actually more and more responsible shooters, at least in our area, that keep it at bay. And we're actually working with some groups in the Inland Empire and Imperial that are actually working on stuff, so it's pretty interesting.
Oh, good. Yeah, my husband and I started out as Cub Scout leaders. We were pack master and committee chair for our son's Cub Scout group for about 4 or 5 years, and so we were full believers of trash or trash.
Oh,
You
yeah.
bring it in, you pack it
You
out.
bring it in, you bring it out.
Yep,
Exactly.
and pick up extra.
So 3 years. How many people you got in the group?
We have just over 500 people.
Oh, nice.
So that is great.
That's huge, yeah.
Yeah, we have increased over the last year. We've added about 100 people, if not more.
Well, I think it's every time you go to an event and put up a booth. I mean, you
Yes.
sign people up. I think it's because it's just a matter of people getting to know who you are.
Yeah, if you're growing like 20% a year, that's big. That's nice.
Oh, yes. And we have a fantastic tabletop program. We have a gentleman that volunteers nearly every weekend. It's just been recently that we've told him he needs to stay home at least one weekend and spend time with his wife because every Saturday is doing tabletops, sometimes Saturdays and Sundays, and runs the whole program for us. So he is just absolutely amazing.
That is so cool because that's what it takes, And it just got to chip away at it and chip away at it and chip away at it until all of a sudden you got more than you know what to do
What's
with.
crazy what one really motivated person can do. to where it's like
infectious.
If we just had like 100 motivated people, it's like it's crazy
Right.
what we get accomplished.
Well, it's infectious.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and they infect. Yeah, they
I
get
wish
other
I had
motivated
100
people.
like Mike Cook.
Yeah, see, there you go. No, absolutely. All right, so we're talking about your prom.
Yes.
What's the date again?
November 12th at 5 p.m. at March Air Museum.
All right, well, you going to hang with us one more segment?
Absolutely. I'll be here.
PRMI Mortgage, primeres.com/Alpine. Hey, if you're looking to buy or refi, or if you're just considering a reverse mortgage, call our local mortgage guy that you can trust. Call Chris Wiley at PRMI Mortgage. For nearly 25 years, Chris has been helping local San Diegans with all their mortgage needs. They make it easy. They work with a friendly expert team that will help you get the best deal on a mortgage. Call Chris Wiley at 619-722-1303 or primeres.com/Alpine. All right, we got Karla Talley. She is on the line, and she's the executive director of the Inland Empire Gun Owners. And so, Karla, I'm curious, how many gun stores and ranges would you say are in the Inland Empire?
That is a very good question. I believe that Riverside has more, believe it or not, has more gun ranges than San Bernardino. San Bernardino has more outdoor ranges. But between the two, there's probably 10 ranges and 30 gun stores.
Wow. Have you reached out to all of them?
We have reached out to, I'd say, 90% of them. There are a few that we haven't reached out to because they're kind of like appointment only. But I have reached out to them to say, hey, if you ever go to, business hours and you want us to come out, or you're having a special event and you want us to come out, we are more than happy to come out.
Right. So talk to me about walking the neighborhood and doing phone banks. Do you find that to be successful?
It does. I believe that it's fairly successful because you're contacting people directly. And when they see how passionate you are about a candidate and the reasons why, then they get just as passionate as you are. So if you show them how important it is and get them fired up as you are, then they take that to the voting booth and vote for the right people.
Because I got to tell you, if it wasn't for Mike and his voter guide, I'd be so lost. I can't wait till when I get home, I'm going to open it up, and I hope Proposition 26 and 27 are in there, because I have yet to figure out which way to go with 26 or 27. They say yes, no, yes, no. Right, Alicia?
Yeah.
Which one? 26 or 27?
Depends on which billboard you're looking at.
Yeah, well, that's it in a nutshell. So I think you're right. Getting in, not in people's faces, but actually answering their questions. Because, see what you see in normal state and local guides, they're confusing because you just don't know which way to go.
You don't, and unless somebody's there to explain it to you, and there's so much gray area because you have the area where they're promoting it. It says this does that and this does that. Well, then you have to read all the attachments that they've put into it. They write in all this other pork, I guess you can call it, that you wouldn't vote on if you saw actually what it was. You wouldn't want that.
Right.
But they add it to something that's important so that – sorry.
Oh. Did you fall off?
Somebody was saying, well, Michael Schwartz came on and said there was no sound.
Yeah.
Oh, just tell Michael Schwartz just to go duck hunting.
And Harbor Patrol says no volume.
Hey, we got no volume in there, son. Oh, no, that'd be you. We're not getting any volume on social media. Man's looking at it right now. That's okay. We'd rather talk to him anyway. All right. So who are some of the superstars out there that you'd like to get their names out?
Well, our superstars, I would have to say, are our sheriffs because they are in the best position to actually do something for our Second Amendment community. So we promote Sheriff Bianco and Sheriff Dicus. In fact, we're talking about what we do, walking in the neighborhoods and stuff. Michael Cook, who runs our tabletop program, also took it upon himself last election for the primary election, picked up hundreds of signs for Sheriff Bianco and delivered them all across Riverside County to people who said they needed one.
Wow.
So, and that's just something that he did on his own. He was saying, well, I chose to do it, but, I do it for Inland Empire gun owners. I said, you know what, you are a rock star because people need them. Some of them can't even get out of their homes because we have a lot of elderly, a lot of people who are low income, who maybe not have cars. So he delivers anything that they want. When it comes to signs and bumper stickers, we pass them out at our tabletops and our events, and we publish in our weekly newsletter about them and where they can pick things up. So it's really great. So our sheriffs are our biggest stars. Sheriff Dicus in San Bernardino, Sheriff Bianco in Riverside are, just our saviors here because they have a fantastic CCW program here.
So how many CCWs do you guys think you have in the Inland Empire?
In Riverside County, I believe it is up to like 23,000. And in San Bernardino, I believe it's 13,000.
Well, you make San Diego look sick.
Yeah.
And we've got 3 million people.
Well, the thing is, in California, the other thing you can do as an organization is you can go ballot harvesting. You can go help people figure out how to vote. It's legal in California.
Oh, yeah. Yep, and in all of our tabletops, like I said, we have one nearly every weekend, and we are passing out the voter guides. We're talking about voting for the Second Amendment-friendly candidates, how to get out and vote. We've got tablets now on our tabletops that people can go in and sign up for our newsletter. So it's great to just get that information.
Well, information's king, because the people that write the different laws and propositions, they do it intentionally for it to go their way.
When they make them the ballot titles confusing.
Right. That's why 26 and 27 has got me totally stumped. So I've got to go home and pull out the guide, and hopefully Michael has done his homework, and he's going to straighten me out.
You should see if there's any shooting ranges on the Indian reservations.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
No.
Paula, there's
Probably
one right
not.
next door, actually.
Paula.
Yeah, but not on the range itself.
Effect.
Yeah.
I mean, not on the.
It's right next to it, but
not on the reservation.
Yeah.
No, I think I think it's such a service that all of the the groups like Inland and San Diego and Orange County do to help people make the right decision, because there's nobody else doing it.
Well, because the Second Amendment ties into other rights, like you said earlier. Yeah. So it usually, if they're for pro Second Amendment, they're usually pretty pro Constitution as well.
But if you get the guide from the state of California, that's about as confusing as anything I've ever read.
Well, and when you get your guide from California, they do not have all the write-ups on the candidates, because it costs like $2,500 just to put the write-up in the voter guide.
Yeah, you have to pay for a candidate statement.
Exactly.
You know how flimsy that paper is.
Yeah, it's newspaper print.
It's not even hot rod quality paper. I mean, it's newsprint.
Yeah.
Oh, like they don't have the money.
Yeah. Oh, they make the candidates pay for just to have your candidate.
Oh, do they really?
In the voter guide, you have to pay for the publishing costs, and they're like, "Oh, it's because we have to print it in a bunch of languages, so that you have to pay for that."
Oh my Lord. Well, all right. So, man, I bet you're so excited about your prom coming up.
Oh, I am absolutely.
Do you have your dress picked out?
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I don't yet, because I've got so many other to-dos on my list that in fact, I told my husband the other day, I need to figure out what I'm going to wear, or I'm going to end up running around in sweats and tennis shoes.
And you have to find the right holster that you can hide under your dress.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
That's tricky.
So, is there a limit on how many people can come to March Air Base?
We actually have a limit of 150 people.
Okay. And I only bring that up, maybe that'll give you some good luck, because how terrible would it be if it's over 150?
Right. Well, and Sheriff Bianco had an event there, and he started out at 100 and ended up having to increase it to almost 900 people.
Oh, wow.
So they ended up having to throw the doors open and putting people out on the flight line for.
If it's nice outside,
tables.
Put some tables
So,
out there.
yeah.
Well, see, here in San Diego, we can only have 999, no matter what Michael tells you.
Right.
At our prom. So it's never higher than 999.
No, 'cause the permit fee
Never.
changes.
Now, is this the first year for prom for you, or have you done this before?
This is our first year for prom, yeah.
You're gonna have
But
fun.
I have
You're
attended
gonna
San
be a
Diego's
mess.
twice.
You're gonna be a mess come prom night. I can tell.
Well, and Michael was telling me, he goes, you know what you're going to do the day after prom? I said, I'm going to Vegas for the week. He goes, no, you're going to be planning next year's prom.
That's
I
true.
said, maybe on the trip to Vegas, but I'm going to Vegas for a week.
Yeah, I think Michael's first one, his back went out. I mean, he was just a total disaster. The first one, I didn't think
It's
he
hard
was.
planning big events.
I didn't think he was going to survive it, but he's done such a phenomenal job, and he gets some pretty heavy hitters to come and speak. And
Oh, they're running smooth now. They're
smooth
nice.
as-
Like
yeah.
for a big event like that,
Yeah,
it's really
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to do anything hardly
No,
except
just-
hand glad and
just
shake hands.
Walk
and
around and
do what he does best.
and
Talk.
it gets hot in a suit, and then you're wearing a gun somewhere.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He loves it. Yes, so, and by the way, has everybody noticed I haven't said Michael's not here today?
Yeah, you have.
What?
Well, just
Did
now.
you? I didn't notice.
Well, I did last week, man. I was saying it about every 2 minutes.
You got this, Michael, and that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
That's
so
right. As long as we have a Michael here, I'm golden.
It's fine, yeah.
All right,
That's right.
Are you gonna read something?
No.
Oh, you're just getting ready. Must be on next page over. I'll have to look. All right. So if people want to join and they're in the Inland Empire, how do they do it?
Go to Inland Empire Gun Owners to join for as little as $10 a month or $100 a year.
Wow.
The website is iegunowners.org. And right there on the front page is a join button, and follow the links and join, get involved, become a member, volunteer. We have some great volunteer incentives.
Yes.
After the first 15 hours of volunteering, you receive a basic pistol class or a CCW class. After 100 hours, you get a free private one-on-one class with Shane Reagan from Defensive Tactics and Firearms.
Wow.
Who is lucky? We are lucky enough to have him as an advisory board member. He also leads our shooting socials every month.
Fantastic. See,
Yeah, so we have some great incentives.
Okay. Hold on a second. You can talk in the mic. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you what your favorite gun is.
Well, I have to say, for the last 6 years, I've carried an FMK9. And it's time to retire my FMK. So I'm actually looking for a new one, and I've been reaching out to some trusted people to ask them what their favorite gun is.
$20 says she doesn't get rid of her FMs K9.
So you'll end up with a Glock 26.
She'll just put it in her drawer, and you're going to be like every other gun owner. How many guns do you have,
purple.
Alicia?
My husband had it cerakoted purple for me. I can't get rid of it.
And don't answer that question, Alicia. All right, hey, kid, it's great talking to you. When's the date of the prom again?
November 12th.
Be there, be square, folks. March Air Force Base. Thanks, kiddo. Talk to you later. All right. Hey, attention, California residents. You know, the gun laws are changing across the country. The recent SCOTUS ruling affirms your right to carry a concealed firearm. So now, more than ever, it's critical you know your California gun laws. That's why the U.S. Concealed Carry Association exists, to help keep responsible Americans up to date with education and training. You can visit uscca.com/GOR to learn more about California gun laws and get in your concealed carry permit. That's uscca.com/GOR for the most up-to-date California gun law information. And now, or act now. All right. So, I guess we have a clarification.
We do. Just
Do you want to do it?
Sure. So last week we had the question about what was the first commercially produced 22 long rifle caliber pistol. And as you recall, well, do we have Sam on the line right now?
I know. Sam, you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a little bit of a question as to if our answer that we had was accurate or not. And I did a little bit of research, and what I'm finding is that the discrepancies that we were finding had to do more just if you look at just like back in school, the answers in the question. That word commercially produced thrown in there seemed to because I believe Sam, remind me what were the two that you came up with that you thought could have been the correct answers?
I mentioned the Browning Buck Mark, which was in commercial production before the Ruger standard.
Right.
Correct. Okay. And so what I was finding is just that word commercially produced. I guess it wasn't done on the scale that met that requirement.
Gotcha. All right, you ready for the new one?
Sure, I guess.
Oh, you're always ready. Are you going to do it?
Jackson. I think Jackson's going to
Jackson, you going to do it?
Yep.
It would be my honor.
All right.
All right. Matt from Lakeside asks, what did the Smith & Wesson market as the most powerful handgun in the world in 1935?
Matt from Lakeside, thanks for writing in. When listeners out there hear the most powerful handgun in the world, you're most likely thinking of the Smith & Wesson Model 29 carried by Dirty Harry, but this refers to a different firearm. The .44 Magnum was not around in 1935. At the time, the most powerful revolver cartridge Smith & Wesson offered revolvers chambered in was .357 Magnum in their Model 27, followed by the Model 19. So in 1935, I'm going to say it was the Smith & Wesson Model 27 in caliber .357 Magnum.
Ta-da! What is this, Cinco de Mayo all of a sudden?
That was Dora the Explorer, so yeah, you were close.
I
Dora.
thought
It was festive.
I thought it sounded familiar.
Oh, you would know that. Okay. I guess there's a little bit more to it. Smith & Wesson introduced the .357 Magnum as the most powerful handgun in the world in 1935, using a cartridge developed by Remington with a 158-grain semi-wad cutter that moved around 1,500 feet per second. The handgun was developed in response to the higher-powered Thompson SMG and Browning's automatic rifle, the BARs, used by gangsters in the 20s, designed to appeal to lawmen wanting the ultimate in handgun power. The first Smith & Wesson .357 Magnum revolver was presented to J. Edgar Hoover. Sound about right?
Yeah, there you go.
There
See,
you go.
the
Shoot through car
357
doors.
Magnum.
Can you imagine what
357
that?
Magnum.
Can you imagine what that .357 that J. Edgar Hoover had is worth today?
Oh man.
Think it's in a museum?
Probably.
What do you think, Sam?
I'm going to see if I can find
Maybe
it.
it's in the Smithsonian.
I don't know.
What?
Not
We stumped
super-
you?
That's what you got them on.
I'm not super up to date on my 1930s FBI history.
Where are they now? Handgun edition?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that it's probably got to be in a museum someplace. I mean,
or at his
who
house.
knows?
I
All
would
right.
guess probably.
Yeah. That was a good one. So good on the clarification and great on the answer.
Thanks. The .357 Magnum cartridge has a really interesting history. It's probably too complicated for me to get into on the air, but basically, instead of being a commercial cartridge that then became popular because it was introduced by manufacturers, it started as experiments by hand loaders and then was picked up by manufacturers.
Oh, interesting. So law enforcement was happy with it, I guess?
It wasn't super popular initially with law enforcement because the first .357 revolvers were very expensive for the time, but it eventually gained some acceptance beginning in about the 1950s or so with the introduction of some better designs like some of the Colts and some of the later Smith & Wessons. But yeah, the .357 basically came about because Elmer Keith and his buddies kept hot rodding .38s to the point that they were blowing out revolver cylinders.
So you mentioned Dirty Harry. I thought that was a .357 Magnum.
No, that was a .44 Magnum. Which
that's right. Okay,
and did not come around until I believe the 60s or 70s.
Okay, I stand corrected.
I do have information on Hoover's Magnum, by the way, too.
What did you find?
It was sold in auction in 2011, and it's still owned by that private owner. He bought it for $46,000.
Whoa!
So there you go.
There you go. Probably never
Pretty
shot.
substantial.
Probably never shot. What do you want to bet?
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, I don't know.
You think he'd shoot it?
I think so.
I'd shoot it.
You think J. Edgar would shoot that thing?
I'd at least run a cylinder through
All right,
it.
get closer to your mic there, son.
I'd at least run a cylinder through it just to see how it shot.
Yeah, I would too.
Especially
All right, buddy. Always good talking to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right. You sticking your finger in the air? You had a question?
It was going to be for Sam.
Is Sam still there?
Now you have to wait till next week. Write it down. On
What was his favorite gun?
No, he's asking.
No, not that.
Well, it doesn't do any good now because he's not
just
there.
ask him next week.
Can you save it?
Yeah, it's on text messages.
Don't lose it. Don't lose your phone.
I doubt that would happen anytime soon, and if I do, I just ping it.
Oh, you have a phone. Oh, you have two. You have one of those? I don't even have one of those. Well,
Actually, what was your favorite gun? I don't know.
I think my SIG M18, that chamber is 9mm.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
I've shot one of those.
Yeah. All right, so you're running for city council in Escondido. How do people help you?
So if you go to mike4d1.com, that's where you can check stuff out there. And if you want to get involved with SDMUST or volunteer time to do some public land cleanups or other things, it's sdmust.org.
Okay. You adopt a freeway?
Not yet. I think we're working on that with the Tread Lightly people.
Or you can talk to Audrey.
Yeah, because we were going to try to do that. Yeah,
she does the one out of Buckman Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she can tell you all. And it doesn't cost anything.
No, it's nice.
You've already got enough volunteers.
And we got the cleanup tools, yeah.
And it's nice to see a sign out there with your...
That would be kind of nice.
Yeah, see? Yeah, and her sign is bright orange with black letters. There's no way you can't tell it's sponsored by... And yours is easy, SDMUST.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, just got to do it bright and shiny.
It's funny, people go around calling me like, hey, SDMUST. They don't know my name's Mike.
I thought that's your name, SDMUST.
Yeah.
SDMUST what?
Yeah.
We won't go there. All right. Well, hey, we made it through this one.
We did. You know what I think what I want to do?
I
got a new mission. You know, you gave me that mission a few weeks ago to look and find that Smith & Wesson Model 500. We got that. We made that happen. My new challenge now, I'm going to take you out with a 44 and have you shoot that alongside a 357.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it. You put bullets in it?
Yeah.
Oh,
they work a little bit better that way.
Like hand-loaded bullets or like factory?
Yeah, we can use a factory. I'm going to have to go crush a few beer cans.
Yeah.
What is it, $3.57 a bullet?
You got to
Depends on the round.
You got to start reloading.
You're
going to shoot those rounds, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't even get reloading.
It's the primers. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get them.
It's not really all that cost effective like it used to be.
No.
You know, but
no.
Yeah. Last thing I want to do. What? Scared him.
I was just staring. I'm sorry. I can't.
Yeah. It's good for you.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, well, jumped out of your skin.
No, listen, you guys are in the air-conditioned studio. I'm staring here in a hot studio.
Quit complaining.
I can't help it.
Well, bring little Herbie around and plug it in. And,
Herbie? Yeah. He doesn't feel like the love bug at all.
He stole his little fan. That's why he's so
That's
hot
right.
No,
that's a different fan.
That's a different fan.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, folks, subscribe to our show. Give us a 5-star review. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. And you really, really, really need to help support our sponsors like San Diego County Gun Owners, Orange County Gun Owners, Inland Empire Gun Owners. In fact, go to their prom. You'll have a blast. The Dillon Law Group, PRMI Mortgage, Sage Tree, Leo Hamill Fine Jewelry, Leo Fit, if you want to get fit, San Diego Flight Training International, U.S. Concealed Carry Association, and a big shout-out to Alicia Curtin, Sam the Gunman, Action Jackson, Brendan Thomas, Chauncey for keeping us on air, and Mike, it was fun having you in.
Thanks.
Good luck on your race. Everybody needs to get out, help.
Yeah, everyone just get out, get involved. I mean, stop complaining online. Get out and do something about it.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want to run for office, just support the candidates that are doing the work.
Yeah, or support the candidate that you believe in.
Yeah, just send them a couple bucks.
And
right now, go out there and just send $5 to any candidate.
Yeah.
It adds up.
It really does. A lot of people don't realize $5 here, $5
If 100
there.
people donate $5, that's $500.
There you go.
I could use $500.
I'm sure you can because trying to get on print and TV.
Oh yeah, making signs, sending texts, all that stuff.
None of that's free.
Costs money, yeah.
Everybody needs to get paid. All right, Sam, did you have a good time? I mean, Action Jackson, did you have a good time?
Yes, I did.
All right, you gonna bring more toys in tomorrow?
Make a
or next
holster
week?
for that Lego gun.
Yeah, we got to get you a holster for that.
I'll try and I'll try and measure it to fit my belt.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Don't go anywhere, folks. Bob Siegel is in the house. He's got an action-packed show for you. Again, vote, vote, vote. Go to San Diego County Gun Owners and check a look at the
find out who
voter
to
guide.
vote for.
See if it can help you out. All right, guys. Thanks again. FM 9.